What's up, Airsofters? Dragon here, Arkansas Combat Simulations. Sniper Ops USA, sponsored by Longbow BBs. Longbow BBs in the UK. Right now, I'll be coming to the United States. I'm going to try to retail them. Fantastic heavyweight white BBs, guys. I've been super impressed by them. I'm super impressed by their companies. There's a little bit more on the horizon with them. But that's not the purpose of this particular vlog. Sorry, I'm going to adjust my camera just a tad bit there, try to get a little more centered. You know, hey, I'm an old dinosaur. All this YouTube and social media and crap, you know, I'm still getting used to. Anyways, I kind of wanted to go over something else for Sniper Ops that gets asked of me in PMs, messages, emails, things. You know, what do I use as my secondary, as my sidearm? In Sniper Ops, well, I really wished I had the stuff to kind of feature that would be more sniper productive. Over the years, I've owned various different types of sidearms in my long span of airsoft career, and most of it because I didn't really care too awful much. You know, I had gas blowbacks, and that has kind of been my type of go-to secondary, especially because doing a lot of, you know, milsim play and things where being stealthy was kind of a backdrop to, you know, a lot of, you know, shooting fest and contest and stuff like that. Not really contest. I never really participated in any actual, you know, sidearm shooting contest, although, you know, I've seen them in a lot of ops and events that I went to. But anyways, yeah, secondaries I've used for the past at least 2 years, if not a little longer. I don't really quite remember. I had previously used a compact KWA USP, a KP8 version for a long time. Before that, it was a KJW P226, and I really liked that sidearm, but I wound up selling it in a money crunch at one point in time. Kind of have regretted it ever since then. The KWA performed, you know, fairly good. With it was when the NS2 system was new, and it really wasn't very a loud pistol, but I started having issues with the slide hanging up on it after some use, and eventually I sold it off in an airsoft lot, and I had won off of a Facebook contest a Blade Tech holster and Elite Force 1911. You know, whenever those were new, and I've kind of used that 1911 since then. It's a CO2 powered 1911 made by Elite Force. You know, they have the TAC version now. Mine's not the TAC version, and I generally use the extended mags in it. But for Sniper Ops, I don't really think that, you know, just bare bones. I've never like messed with the internals too much on the pistols itself. I've had to replace the slide a couple times. It busted. I've had the classic hang on the hammer issue, and I have to constantly keep it lubed. It's just, I don't know, not, I would say it's more budget friendly quality and not really super duper great quality for a sidearm. Other people may disagree or whatever, and I ain't trying to say anything bad about it or talk bad, you know, in a negative fashion in there, but there was always things that just didn't make me happy. The hop-up's not the best on it. It is not, you know, stock-wise, the most accurate sidearm you can use. But the main issue with it is loud, and I mean super loud. In regular milsim play, you're really not paying attention to it too much because, you know, you got all the other sounds, people running around, shooting, you know, other things going on in the background that sort of dim out that loud CO2 expulsion and sliding mechanism sound. in sniper ops, though, you're in a totally different environment. It is a lot quieter. You can almost sometimes hear a pin drop, and every little movement and sound that you make, you are constantly aware of, and you just think that, oh man, somebody's going to hear that, and because you don't really know where your competitors or your opposition is throughout that game, unless you just got lucky and happened to observe them while they were, moving around, or they made sound or something. But yeah, so Elite Force 1911 is going to get replaced. Now, the go-to sniper sidearm is the MK23, which is a USP-based non-blowback, normally operated by green gas or propane type of sidearm. I don't know if they come with a silencer or not. I am not really familiar with all the little off-brands, but I know YNP used to make one. ASG allegedly makes one, although I haven't found one in stock anywhere. And other people say STTI. I have no idea what that is or where you get those. I've not tried to search for them, but I do know the Tokyo Marui. Now, here's my issue with Tokyo Marui. Nothing bad about it. I mean, they're fantastic little replicas. Out of the box, they're phenomenal. Tokyo Marui hop-ups are, wow, hard to beat. But they are a more expensive thing for us to get here in the United States, and I just don't want to spend over $100 on a sidearm. That seems a little far-fetched and ridiculous to me. So, in between here and there, until I locate me an MK23 that I can live with. I mean, first and foremost, me personally, the MK23 does have a larger grip. I don't really have small hands. I got kind of long fingers, and not really issue about like holding a larger grip pistol, but it's not an extremely comfortable pistol for me to shoot in where I grab it, I aim it, and it feels fairly natural. Maybe I'm just not used to it. I don't know really, but we'll see how that goes. The grips are larger on it, so if you got small hands, you might want to look into some sort of alternative. Alternative I found was the MK1 or the MK2 type of sidearm. I don't have one of those to feature either to show, but it looks a lot like, very simplified, rounded barrel thing. The bad aspect with those are that they shoot hot out of the box, and it takes some, tech work that I'm not even really all that familiar with to make them not so, hard shooting, so that way they're minimum engagement distance legal or whatever. My alternative I've come up with right now is AEPs. AEPs like this JG V61. Nice little AEP. Now mine was supposed to come with mid caps. It did not. It irritated me. I even got extra high caps because they were marketed as mid caps. They didn't come as mid caps. They came as stupid rattle boxes. I hate rattle boxes. But, those are on the way. And I'll be camoing this little thing up. I do have a silencer system that goes on it. I took off the folding stock because it's pretty much like you have to hold it up here and look down the sides and blah, blah, blah. I didn't want that. I wanted something quick and easy to grab. Now, AEPs are not super hard-hitting things, and I've not fielded this yet to see if I'd even be even remotely happy with it. I do have, however, on this V61, and most AEPs have a full auto feature. So that way, if you're in a fix, you're getting swarmed, overwhelmed, or you have multiple targets, whatever, you can, flip it over to full auto and spray a burst. I don't think I have the battery in this thing. No. I don't have the battery in it. I'm going to do the LiPo mod, so that way I get a better battery, better trigger response out of it. I just hadn't done that yet. Don't know anything else. I've not really fielded it, like I said, to know anything about it. Now, these are not the most quietest thing, but they are more silent than a gas blowback. Traditionally, what you want is a non-blowback unit, so you don't have the sound from the slide. Unfortunately, the two that are the best on the market, which is the MK23 or the MK1 or MK2, I don't really know the differences between an MK1 and MK2, except for I think the MK2 is like all steel barrel and MK1 may have a polycarbonate barrel. On the MK1 or MK2, they have kind of a lower capacity magazine too, in comparison to the MK23. Sometimes that's a big deal. You know, every little magazine you're carrying is a little bit extra weight, you know, by a few ounces of pounds, and you know, you want to get the best bang for your buck too, in a lot of instances with all this stuff. But yeah, you know, I'm going to try this, you know, this AEP out for a little bit. I may not be happy with it. I may break down and buy a Tokyo Marui MK23 if I can't find the other ones that are more off-brand. But it's like if you jump over and you watch like Kicking Mustang or Ghost Sniper, or there's a bunch out there. I mean, you can search around on YouTube about the MK23 on how silent it can be. I mean, you can hear the trigger mechanism and hear BBs hitting the players, but you don't really hear that operation very much with them. And they're kind of more of the go-to actual sniper type of secondaries because of that silence aspect. And I've also heard that the MK23 is able to lift and float heavyweight BBs. I've never tested that out myself, so we're kind of going to see how that goes. But yeah, it's you do want a secondary, or it's a must-have. I mean, because you know, you're stocking up on somebody, you get within 50 feet of them. You know, you don't want to be shooting them with your 500 feet per second, heavyweight BB bolt-action rifle. You want to do it a little more safer. You know, there are some situations that a sidearm will be more beneficial than using your bolt-action. Covering an objective, or like I said, sneaking up on somebody, whole gaggle of reasons, and a lot of it has to do with safety and not really enforcing a transition per se, but more or less for a safer standard. And there are some sniper ops guys over there in the UK that I've watched on video that they don't even use a bolt action. They'll just run around with their MK23 and start popping people or pop up out of the bushes, bam, 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 and that's kind of neat to watch. But yeah, it's something that is definitely a must-have. A CQB legal sidearm. You don't want anything hard hitting. You definitely don't want these El Cheapo CO2 things that shoot over 400 feet per second with a .20 out of the box. If you do get one of those, see what you can do. Look it up on YouTube to modify it to where it doesn't shoot that hard. A lot of those non-blowbacks too are still pretty loud whenever they're firing. I've tested out a bunch of El Cheapos myself, trying to find a budget-friendly route to go other than ordering a Tokyo Marui myself. But I'm gonna stay tuned and search around and try to find one, even if I find one used somewhere, an MK23 for my own personal use. Other thing about this particular AEP, it's fairly weighty. I was hoping to shave weight because of my 1911, and the magazines added together with it is pretty hefty as far as a pistol sidearm goes. This is still pretty weighty. I was really actually very surprised on how much it does weigh. And I'm trying to lighten my load over here on my belt system, and that really didn't make the grade. And it's, kind of a unique style and everything, but, with the weight and then adding a suppressor to it, increases its size. It's kind of actually hard to put on my rig, and I actually have to make a specialized type of retaining system so I can carry it. It's got to be heavy duty, because that sucker weighs, I would say at least 5 pounds, a lot heavier than what I wanted. So that's kind of all for me right now, and I'm glad we had this time to make this little video. This Dragon. I'll catch y'all later.